Today we're talking about the safe place within and how meditation reconnects you to your soul when life feels heavy. Have you ever noticed when a negative emotion shows up in your life, it doesn't just settle right in your mind, it also settles in your body. And you might feel this constriction, right? This tightening, and you close off to the world. You don't want to go out there and talk to anybody or open up. And it's almost like positive opportunities may pass you by. You may feel very small. You may feel just horrible. And so this is where meditation comes into a play as a solution, as a way for you to connect back to yourself. So often we try to think our way out of it and we distract ourselves, we push it down, or we look outward for reassurance. But true relief, right, the kind that brings lasting peace, actually comes from inside. And so today I'm going to share with you 3 points on how meditation can help you go from a place of feeling any kind of pain to a place of feeling peaceful and feeling powerful and reconnecting with your true self. And so the first point is the inner sanctuary is the place where we can feel whole. Now, this is a place and a space where nobody exists, nobody can enter. It is going to be just you and your higher selves, you in your vessel, where nobody's asking anything from you, where you don't have to prove, perform, protect. You don't have to do any of that, right? This is a place where you are being held and where you are safe. And you'll notice when you learn how to meditate and you're plugging back into that, you're going to feel whole, safe. And you become basically all things, right? All things and no things at the same time, because you're not focusing on your physical vessel. Rather, you're relaxing, you're releasing, and you're surrendering. And this is absolutely not a place of fixing or forcing at the moment, but rather a place of remembering. And it's not going to be just remembering, right, in your mind. You're actually going to feel this in your body. Because when you remember who you truly are, when you disconnect from this third dimensional plane, right? Everything that we can touch, feel, see, taste, all the 5 senses, we're connecting to our higher selves. And in that place and space where we're remembering and we're feeling it in our body, we are undoubtedly going to feel whole and safe and connected. And this is where healing happens. And it's not because you're trying to heal, but because you're allowing yourself to be fully present. And so in this space, doubt is going to lose its grip, disappointment will lose its charge, and because you're no longer identified with that negative emotion. This is where you begin to bridge the gap between your different layers, right, of our third dimensional selves and our higher selves, which brings me into my next point, remembering you are a multi-dimensional being. We're not just human beings, we are spiritual beings having this human experience full of lessons. And yes, it can be quite uncomfortable because these lessons, right, this pain that we're going through is here to cause us to grow, right, to recognize what we need to work on. And that's always going to be going inward. People are going to mirror back to us our biggest shadows, right, our biggest wounds, and it will keep replaying until we actually can go inward. Practice that self-love, right? Notice and hear inside in our heart and in our soul what we need to work on, what we need to heal, and also plugging into our higher selves, higher power, the universe, whatever you refer to it as. And when we meditate, we're basically rising above the surface level noise of the mind and reconnecting with our higher consciousness. And in this state, of course, something powerful will happen. There is a knowing, our deep inner certainty, and a calm surety that doesn't need external validation. And we've all been there, I myself, right, where you can get hooked on likes and approval, views, or receiving text messages and interacting with others. But at the same time, if we're operating from a place of approval from others, we can start to forget about the approval or the connection that we can make with ourselves, right? Which is everything whole, everything that we're seeking externally, we can fulfill that inward. And then everything else that is interacting with us, it's icing on the cake and it feels good, right? It's not like we're going to be in this world all alone and we never need anybody, but it's more working on this foundation with self so that everything else is extra. And this is why meditation is so soothing, because when any kind of emotion starts to feel overwhelming, Instead of being consumed by that negative emotion, we reconnect with the part of us that can see and feel beyond the current moment. And so remember, anything that you're experiencing is temporary. And when we reconnect to our higher self knows the divine plan, right? At this moment, we may not know why we're going through this, why we're experiencing this heartbreak, this sadness, whatever, anger, whatever it is that you're going through, but there's a higher part of us that understands that, and that's where that calm settles within your body, settles within your nervous system, and you feel more relaxed after you meditate. It is literally a drug within your body. Which brings me into my next point, which is trust, surrender, and flow. And so as this connection deepens, something beautiful will happen. Like I said, the nervous system, right, will begin to soften. Our body will soften. We begin to trust. It's not just blind trust, but rather embodied trust. And we start to feel that everything is working out for us, even when it doesn't look that way on the surface. And so through meditation, we begin to release that control. And I've been there, right, where I wanted to control things. I wanted things to work out a specific way. And if it didn't, it's not like I was micromanaging things, but it's almost like it can hit you and it can feel disappointing and it can feel like a shock. But at the same time, this is why we have to come back to ourselves. And it's been over a decade that I've been doing this, and this is why meditation has been my foundation, my go-to, my savior, and all the tumultuous and all the lessons of everything that I've experienced. So through meditation, we can learn how to surrender that control and release the need to manage any kind of outcome, fixing others, forcing circumstances. And so we're swimming and we're floating downstream instead of swimming upstream against the current where things are just difficult. I'd like to leave you with this, that to surrender isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And from this place, disappointment or doubt can no longer define us. It's going to lose its grip because we're plugging into our higher dimensional selves, right? We're going to build that muscle just like anything in life, right? It takes time. It takes time to cultivate and it gets stronger, right? The muscle gets bigger. Your meditation muscle is going to get bigger. You're going to get stronger. You're going to feel more connected to your higher self, and you're going to practice this daily. It's not a one and done type of thing, like everything is solved, but it's a daily habit that you want to incorporate into your life. And if you find yourself with any kind of challenges, of course, I'd be happy to help you. And I'd also love to interview as I'm building something beautiful. I'm doing research on this beautiful project. And so anybody on their meditation healing journey, my information's down below just for us to connect, a quick 20-minute call, ask me whatever you want. I'll offer advice, and in turn, I'm going to ask you some questions. But as always, have a beautiful, blessed day.